What exactly is an ISBN? It stands for International Standard Book Number. Think of it like a social security number for your book. When you get an ISBN, your book's information gets uploaded into a massive database called Books in Print, which the entire industry uses. Trying to sell a book without an ISBN is like trying to sell a product in a supermarket without a barcode. The system doesn't know what to do with it. In this video, I'll show you how to get one and tell you about a massive mistake a client of mine made recently with hers, so you can avoid it. But let me give you a very quick intro to me in case you're new here. I'm Carolyn Choate, and with my fiction pen name, I've made over $50,000 in royalties, mostly passively, by utilizing websites effectively. On this channel, I show you how both fiction and nonfiction authors can get more from their books with less work. Now, you can't make money from your books if they aren't available for sale yet. So this series is all about how to get your books published. If you're going the self-publishing route like me, follow along with this playlist. And if you're not sure how to choose which publishing option is best for you, traditional, hybrid, or self, then I have a video about that here. Great, back to ISBNs. It is a unique 13-digit code that identifies a specific edition of your book, and it's what separates it from every other book on the planet. This code is what allows bookstores, libraries, wholesalers, and distributors to find, order, and manage your book. It's your book's fingerprint in the marketplace. Notice that I said specific edition. Each ISBN is linked to not your book itself, but to which edition of the book it is. You might not have a second edition or a hardcover version, but you might have an audiobook edition, and you definitely have an ebook and paperback edition. Ebooks came about so quickly and unexpectedly that for a long time it's been unclear if ebooks needed ISBNs. Amazon doesn't require an ebook to have one, but most other marketplaces do. It makes sense for the ebook to have its own ISBN so that if a bookstore or library is trying to get a copy of your book, they can tell if they're ordering a hard copy or digital copy, a paperback or an ebook. As I said in my previous video about the cost of self-publishing, the ISBNs are the only thing I pay for, and they aren't exactly cheap, but I urge you not to be tempted when the platform you're uploading to offers you a free ISBN. What this means is that it will make them the publisher on record for your book instead of you. As a self-published author, you are maintaining control of your work. If you let Amazon be the official publisher, they have more control over your intellectual property than they need to or should have. Do not undermine the benefits of self-publishing by taking a free ISBN. So now you know you need one, or more likely at least 2 to 3. How do you get them? In the US, and I cannot speak to any other country, I'm afraid. I live in the US, I publish in the US. The US is the only place I've lived, only visited other places. There's only one source for ISBNs, and it is Bowker. I'm going to walk you through how to purchase your ISBNs and register your book. So let me start screen sharing. Okay, so where you're going to want to go is myidentifiers.com. I will link to that in the description. This is what it's going to look like. As you see, Bowker Publishing Services. Sign in, register right here. Obviously, I already have an account, and that's not mine. But here you can choose new and go through the registration process. So I am going to log in. They don't make it the easiest to find what you need. There's tons of stuff in here, and you really only need this one right here. Buy ISBNs or buy ISBNs in bulk. And that is what I'm going to recommend, because if you buy a single ISBN, it is $125. Now, if you buy 10 ISBNs, it's $295, which is a lot to lay out at first, but then once you break it down, it's about $30 each. So a much better cost per book. And as I said, you might need more than one ISBN for each book. So you can end up going through them kind of quickly. If you really are just publishing one book, then maybe this, but highly recommend the 10 bundle. And I'm probably going to need to buy a new 10 bundle pretty soon. So we would add that to the cart. And then you do not need any of these things. You don't need the barcode. The distribution platforms are going to put that on automatically. This, I don't know. I have not done this, but maybe like this is something I need to look into more because I have never bothered with an official registered copyright. I will be honest with that. And because when you create something, you have the copyright. It's immediately, automatically copyrighted to you when you create it. But if you have to go to court to prove that you created it, then it can get sticky, and it would be helpful to have an official registration showing that it's yours. And that's what's been going on with the Anthropic AI lawsuit with authors, is the only authors who are potentially probably going to get compensated for AI stealing their work is are those who had originally registered their work with a copyright. And I did not do that, not knowing that AI was going to be a thing, not knowing that any of this would happen. So that is a personal decision for you to think through, because if you ever do need to sue someone or prove that this is your work, you do need to have a copyright registered ahead of time. I don't know if this is the best place to do that. You should, I will look up, and in a future video, look into the Copyright Office in the US and how that works to do it from there. But basically, don't take any of these other things. You just want your ISBNs, go to the cart, check out. I don't know. I've never seen a coupon code for this, but I guess they must exist somewhere. Though anyway, you just go through that regular buying process. Once you have them, then they're going to be over here under My Account, My Identifiers, and you'll have a list of them here. So these are the ones that I have assigned, and as you can see, I have used up most of my most recent pack of them. So I have 3 left, but yours will all show like this before you assign them. Again, you do not need to buy the barcode. So what you'll do when you have your book ready to assign is click Assign Title. You'll put in your book title information. If there's a subtitle, you can put in a description. This is not mandatory, but recommended. You will say whether this is a print book, an ebook, an audiobook. So let's say print, and then format, paperback or hardback. Under ebook, it will, then it will ask things like this. Most likely what you have is an EPUB. That is what most are using now. Kindle, I think Kindle uses EPUB. They used to use their own proprietary thing, but I don't think they do anymore. And then you can select genres, and this is pretty general. It doesn't get into super detail. So I do romance, so I would say something like that. You can put in the cover file. Again, recommended to fill everything out, even the things that are not needed or not required. You put in your author name. You could put a biography if you would like to. You select that you're the author. You can add another contributor if you had an illustrator, an editor, any of those other things. You're going to say whether this is, you can go back in. If you go one of your things out of print, you can go back in and update it to that. Usually what you're going to say is active record or forthcoming. And you'll say what the publication date is, whether it already happened or it's coming up. The publisher. This is already in here because I set this somewhere separately. That's going to be part of your setting up your account. So I just put my author pen name in here, but you can put in whatever you want. You can put, My Book Imprint LLC. No, not LLC unless you actually have an LLC, but you know what I mean. My Book Imprint, or whatever you want to put in there to make it look like professional and lovely. And not a bad idea to get an LLC if you're in the US for your publishing business. I had one previously and an accountant screwed it up, and that is a long story, but I should get one again and I haven't done it. Then target audience. This one is so confusing because you're like, what the heck? None of these seem right. So basically what I learned is adult education is the right answer for the kind of books that I'm doing and the kind of books that most likely you're doing. You say what the price is going to be, and then you submit it. And then it will be assigned, and this will be that book's official ISBN. So this would be for whatever book I put in here. This would be right now I have it under ebook. This would be the ebook ISBN for that thing. And then when I'm uploading it, it asks for ISBN. That's what I put in. I come back over here and I look at it and I put that in. And that is it. So they just sit there in your account and are a record of the assignments of your ISBNs. Now, the mistake I mentioned that my client made recently was she clicked expanded distribution in Amazon, but also uploaded to Draft to Digital. And that caused a conflict with the ISBNs that has led to a huge headache. You have to be very careful not to be repeating your upload process, basically, where Draft to Digital is publishing and distributing the book to, say, Barnes & Noble, but then in Amazon, you've clicked at expanded distribution and it is also sending it to Barnes & Noble, and then there's a clash. And be careful of systems that try to tell you that you have to have a different ISBN for each distribution platform, because that is not the case. So if anyone is telling you that you need a different ISBN for your book in paperback on Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and Amazon, that is not true unless you have some kind of a special edition that is going to one of those platforms, like these authors who have like the Target exclusive edition that only Target is selling, the one that has the bonus chapter. That would have a different ISBN because it's a different edition. But your ISBN should work across any distribution platform. It is for the paperback book. You are the publisher on record. And just watch out for knowing when you upload to a platform exactly which distribution channels it's going to, so that you don't repeat, which can cause a conflict that will throw up a red flag and make it almost impossible to fix, honestly. We are still trying to figure out how to get her book up because I am fighting with someone on Draft to Digital about why she should not have an issue with this ISBN, and we might have to just buy a different ISBN and start the whole thing over again. Don't want to have to do that, obviously. So that, I believe, is everything that you need to know about ISBNs. If you have any further questions about them, anything that I haven't thought of to tell you, please leave a comment below. I will absolutely address them and get you everything you need to know about ISBNs. In the next video, I'll show you how to format your book for both ebook and print using a few different tools. I have Atticus, which is a one-time cost, so I'll show you how I use Atticus. I'm also going to test out the free Readsy formatting tool, which I've never tried. And we'll get into things like the trim sizes, the margins, exactly what you need for print versus ebook. So nitty-gritty of what you need to know so that you can get your books up and published. So I will see you there. Hang out with me here.